Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk today. I'm Rick Probst. What a great Atlanta weekend. My next guest I've talked to over the years a number of times, and honestly, I love talking to him and I love listening to him. He's the co-host of Focus on the Family with Jim Daly. It's John Fuller. His Facebook says he's the radio guy at Focus on the Family, and I found this other write-up that says he's and I love this, John, the VP of Audio and New Media at Focus. I
That,
love it.
that's such an old title. That was back before there was social media. There was new media, and
New
we did
media.
not have anybody here at Focus on the Family that was kind of specializing in that. And so, yeah, I jumped in. I was on Twitter before anybody even knew Twitter was there, and I did a bunch of stuff, and our team was trying to step into that. Now we have a whole team that does social media. So, no, just radio guy. And by the way, if you follow me on Facebook or you see my Facebook page, you'll notice I don't update that very often.
No, you
It's been
don't.
years. Yeah, I'm not a very good practitioner of the media apart from the audio part.
Well, it's good to have you. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
I did a little research. I hope I'm right on this. You started in 1991. That makes 34 years at Focus.
That is right. Yeah, we had a 6-week-old when I started here, and he's 34 now,
Right.
6'8". So a little time has spanned since I started here, and what a joy to be here at Focus. I thought I'd maybe make it 5 years, and God has been so good over the years, and it's a neat place to be. There's so much going on.
It's just, I mean, you've been with us for so long and we listen to you and watch you. I mean, it's like, and again, this is not a pun, but it's like having family. So we appreciate, and your heart, you've always been so kind to us
Hmm.
and to those that are watching and listening on Focus on the Family. As a radio guy, and you do so well. I mean, you've got one of those voices, and just your attitude and your personality just flows so well. It flows well with us, even though sometimes we can be goofy. But you have humored us over the years many times, so
Well,
we've
I
enjoyed.
like to think you encourage the goofy part of me that doesn't come out. I'm a little too buttoned up, Rick. I need help, and you guys are good at that.
I'll bet when you go home after being with us, Dina goes, John, what's the matter with you? What is the matter with you?
There
Right?
is a residual effect, but I got to say, some of the best times in the studio with Jim Daly, I literally have to get up because my side hurts so much from laughing. That guy can have me in stitches, or we can stumble and just fall apart. Those are rich times, and so yeah, laughter with you, that's a good thing. And Dina doesn't mind at all when what is it, endorphins? When I release the
Yes.
right
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good to have a great host, someone beside you, and Jim's been that for years and years.
Hmm.
What do you think your favorite show has been maybe this last year? I mean, you've
Uh,
done I mean, can you quantify how many shows you've done? But this year, what do you think your favorite show has been? I hate to do that because it's like children. Which one is your favorite child?
yeah, yeah.
Because you have
Well,
so many great guests.
and I have to ask this now. Our listeners may know that the show is not live. It
Hmm.
feels live. We want
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
It's not live. So, do you mean the best show that my favorite show that has aired, or the favorite show that we've recorded? Because we recorded even today a program with Dr. Erwin Lutzer about unanswered prayer.
Mm.
That's going to air next year. But I'll just tell you that, just being vulnerable, I'm in a spot where there's a lot of intense prayer going on right now
Yeah.
in our family. And as we pray, we don't feel like God hasn't answered, but Dr. Lutzer just ministered to me. It was almost like I get to spend an hour with this theologian, teacher, pastor, and it's really just for me. Now, I know that in a few months, millions are going to hear that show,
Right.
but that's currently my favorite show just because of where we're at and the way he brought hope and assurance that when we pray, God hears us, even though he may be silent.
I love that. John Fuller with us, Focus on the Family, and we're talking about the show. You hear that here at Faith Talk. You're on the radio here. I mean, you guys have. I mean, you're on so many platforms, right? You were just talking about
Yeah.
you were on Twitter before Twitter was even created. but yeah, video, audio. What is it about radio that, I mean, you're still on the radio and there are still people listening to you on the radio? The numbers are huge. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think part of it is over the years, we've been fortunate to have so many people listening in for almost 49 years now. It'll be in a few months. So I think there's some patterns and some habits, and you just kind of orient your life. If you're old enough, you oriented your life in such a way that you kind of built it around certain connections for shows. Paul Harvey, when I was growing up, was a
Yeah.
fixture in the noontime. So radio still has this unbelievable power to hit people when they're not expecting it. Nobody knows that when I come into work today, nobody knows that I need to hear what Chuck Swindoll is saying at 7:45 on our local radio station. But Chuck somehow says something that I absolutely needed to hear. It made a difference in my day. That's the power of radio. I mean, I love digital media and I consume a lot of it, but that takes time. I have to tell, CarPlay to open up this app, and then it's got to find the right show,
Right.
or I have to go here and go there, or I have to click, click, click. Radio's just there, and that's one of the reasons I love it. Plus, the listener to radio generally is doing other things. They're not distracted by the visuals. They wouldn't notice that I'm a clean shaven man and you are not. They wouldn't notice, how aged I'm getting compared to when I first started. They wouldn't notice those things. They're just listening to the words. And in our setting, what we do at Focus on the Family is we have a table-side chat. We're at the kitchen table and you get to listen in. And it's not sometimes it's a presentation in front of a group of people, but generally it's one of those, yeah, we're just with you and you're listening, and it's not a demanding thing. It's an edifying, encouraging, maybe heart-touching conversation with a story that has some crescendos, has some pathos, but it's real, and God speaks. So we're grateful that we're still on so many radio stations. We're thankful for the digital media that takes it around the world, but boy, the radio station's still really crucial for us.
We are so glad that you're a part of our family, and there's such a huge connection there. Last week, I was in the truck, and I had to do an errand, and it was later on in the afternoon. And sometimes I listen to, I stream stuff, and then sometimes I'll poke around on the radio,
Yeah.
and I just thought, you know what, I'll see what, we have two stations here in Atlanta, Salem stations, and just on a lark, I hit I think it was 590, Faith Talk Atlanta 590 WDWD, and honestly, Focus was on, but it was the tail end of an interview of a lady, and I can't remember her name. I need to get the book, but she was talking about how young men, how they mature in their mind at 25, and basically, in some senses, you just need to let them go, because we still have a son. Our other sons are over 25, but we have a younger son that's 22. He's coming up on 23, and he's just not, and you'd think I'd know the drill, right? But he's just not quite getting it, and is driving his mother crazy. But this particular guest that you guys had,
Yeah.
I apologize, I don't know her
Oh,
name.
it's Rhonda Stoppy.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
had a book out, and she
Uh-huh.
basically said, just let them live. They'll circle around and come back. And that meant to me so much. And it was on a lark. Here we are. I think 10 minutes were left in the show.
Yes.
And because you did the close just right after she gave her a little spiel. And I was like, all right, I got to get on Audible and get that book. I got to listen to that book to see
Yeah.
what she's saying. But that's the thing, right? I'm there in the truck, nothing else to do, waiting on, I don't know if I was waiting on my wife, waiting on my son. And so I turned it on, and bang, happened to be Focus, and that guest was on. That's just timing.
Like I said, nobody knew that except God.
Yeah.
So God takes what happens in the studio and he connects it with the heart. And I love how he does that. I mean, I don't want to presume that the creator of the universe has the time or cares enough to make sure that what we said in a show 7 months ago that happens to be airing again this month is going to hit Rick. But that's how it works. And I want to amend the record. I think actually I heard the same exact part of the show that you did, and it was Meg Meeker, Dr. Meg Meeker,
Okay.
talking about sons.
Yes.
And Rhonda was also a guest in one of the best ofs. Right now, we're airing best of shows because it just makes sense to play your most popular stuff during
Yes.
December.
Absolutely. I love that. John Fuller with us. He is a VP there and a co-host of Focus on the Family. He works with Jim Daly, and he's lived to tell about it. All those.
Are you guys interviewing him too?
No.
Has he been talking?
Let's talk a little bit about. And he is. I interviewed. I can't remember when's the last time I talked to Jim. He had broken his leg. This is how long it was skiing, and he happened to show up at we had a like an ultra concert with all these bands showing up, and Jim was invited and some other guests, and I interviewed him, and he had happened to just break his leg skiing, and he was in a cast, but he was still hysterical with me, and I was a little nervous because I'd never talked to him. And, I'm like, this is Jim Daly. My gracious, how do I act? And he just, like you, stepped into your personality, and we just had a great time. But yeah, he's a good guy. Let's talk a little bit about, now we know the effects of focus over the years, right? Focusing on marriages and families, and something that you brought me in on a few years back, really strong in bringing people to Christ. People come to Christ through, whether it's online or calling on the phone, or, I don't know, maybe even stopping by there in Colorado Springs. But there's so many people that give their lives to Christ because of Focus on the Family, when really that's kind of in the back of most of our minds, because we always think focus on the family.
Yeah.
It's about marriages. It's about family. They do it well. But talk a little bit about the emphasis on leading people to Christ.
Sure. So from the inception, it's been to work with the Holy Spirit in helping people meet the author of life and the creator of family. So that's been a very fundamental part of who we are, a foundational block for this ministry. And we have 5 main areas of programming that we cover that reflect the 5 main initiatives and efforts of the ministry. There's evangelism that's woven throughout, although sometimes we do a straight up evangelistic message, but there's evangelism, marriage, parenting, the voice of the voiceless, being advocates for children in need, and then engaging the culture biblically and effectively for Christ. So the surveys that we do every year, we survey thousands and thousands of people, and it's one of those kind of impact scores where if you give a 9 or a 10, that means you really, really were impacted or touched or liked it or didn't like it, whatever the question is. One of the questions is, has Focus on the Family helped you grow spiritually? And if you say yes, there are follow-up questions to the point that we know that in the previous 12 months, 292,000 people made commitments to Christ as a direct result of something Focus on the Family has done. A radio show, an Adventures in Odyssey episode, something online, a magazine, a radio interview like this. Somebody said, because of Focus and what they were doing, what God was doing through Focus, to really frame it the proper way, 292,000 people in 1 year made commitments for Christ, which thrills us. Yes. I mean, that's an awesome number. And we're not known as an evangelistic ministry, right. But we really are all about preaching the gospel to the world. And we do that in the context of family. And we're delighted that God seeks people that are lost and brings them to himself through what we do together with our prayer partners and our contributors here at Focus.
That leads me to this. By the way, if you're listening or watching, we're talking with John Fuller of Focus on the Family. He's the co-host of Focus on the Family with Jim Daly. And his Facebook, again, says Radio Guy. And, of course, we all enjoy that talent that he has in the gifting. My segue into here it is, the end of the year. And every year Focus does this. And this is really huge because you're looking ahead to 2026.
Hmm.
And this is the end of year where people want to give. And there is an end of year match, which is doubled, which means because you're just talking about salvations, people coming to Christ, that means an opportunity to reach twice as many those that don't are disconnected from Christ or don't know Christ.
Hmm.
Also, marriages, families, children, those that need help. Let's talk a little bit about that. I know how it works because I've been working with you guys for years. If I were just some guy listening to a young lady or a lady listening on the radio, what's your elevator? What's your elevator speech to me to show me and to educate me on what is this year-end match all about?
Sure. Well, I go back to that number, 292,000 people. That reflects our heart to be efficient, to be effective, and to measure results. So we're looking at marriages saved. We're looking at children touched for Christ through Odyssey and the other kids' work we do. We're looking at parents who are equipped during a crisis, like 500,000 parents who are struggling with their child, either their in-home child or their adult child. They need help, and we're trying to deliver that help as efficiently and effectively as we can. To that end, we have major donors who have some means, and they've looked under the hood, if you will. They've seen the numbers, they've talked to us, and they've said, we believe in you so much that we're going to contribute toward kind of a seed, a beginning, if you will, of a match, a gift that will double everybody else's gift. So those major donors have contributed $8 million as the matching part.
My gracious.
These are people that don't give lightly. They look at the numbers. They're not going to just throw their money at somebody that makes them feel good. They're looking at results. So my pitch to you, this is the elevator pitch. My pitch to you is if you want to make a difference in the lives of generations, eternal difference in the lives of men, women, and children for years and years to come through a saved marriage, through a strengthened relationship with the child, through a salvation moment with Christ, Focus on the Family can deliver effective results. And now your $10 becomes 20, your 50, 100, your 1,000 becomes $2,000, all because God has been gracious to us, and we have a team here committed to really maximizing the dollars. So this is a great time. Just this month is when they do this match, and it's going to help us go into 2026 confident to know that you're in our corner with us.
Hey, you can go to focusonthefamily.com, FOTF.com, and you can give and you can see there's so many resources for you, and you can see how so many people's lives are touched. You know, John, you said about the generations, just think, and I'm sure you have, you walked through the door some 34 years ago, and folks that started listening to you, you may have had some children listen to you 34 years ago, and here they are, 34 years plus or whatever, 40 years old. Have you ever encountered anyone or a number of people to come to you and say, hey, John Fuller, I've been listening to you since I was 10. Have you had any of those?
This sounds like a setup, okay? It absolutely is a setup, because when you started this question, we didn't rehearse this.
No.
I immediately thought to yesterday, Rick. We had a guest in the studio yesterday, and she's from Detroit. And she just spontaneously said, I've been listening to Focus on the Family since I was 10. She's 57 years old. She's been listening almost the entire time we've been here. Wow. I wasn't on the radio way back then, right, but she was listening. She was in a blended family, a broken family first, and then a blended family, and she went through a lot. And she came to share hope for blended families because she herself went through a pretty tragic divorce and got remarried, and God has restored and redeemed. So just yesterday, somebody said 47 years ago, 47 years ago, rather, I was listening to Focus on the Family when I was 10.
Wow.
I just think the Lord might have had you ask that question that way. So I do meet people, and I've been listening since 83 actually, and supporting the ministry since 1984 is when I started sending money to Focus. I'm now a monthly contributor because I believe in the mission here.
You know, I've been a radio guy since 1980, and when Focus came on, there was really nothing like it. I mean, it was a cutting edge type show,
Hmm.
and it continues to, stay fresh. And I don't mean that in a gimmicky way, staying fresh and uh, but you guys aren't wearing skinny jeans or anything. We're not going
Not
there.
that you can tell.
Oh yeah, thank God we've got you just from the chest up there.
Yeah.
But what I mean is that just the quality
Yeah.
and just the substance of what's going on, and it started from the inception and it continues on. I know we're running out of time here, but let's look ahead a bit. 2026. What are you excited about
Well,
for Focus?
yeah, we're going to continue to put out new podcasts. We have seasonal podcasts coming up in 2026. The Loving Well, February Valentine's Day podcast will be coming out. We just recorded that the other day, so that's all set. There's a really huge thing coming. I can only just give you a tease.
Okay.
For all the Adventures in Odyssey fans, you'll be able to go in 2026, late 2026. You're going to be able to go to a theater and see a full-length animated film with Disney animators working on this, former Disney animators, telling the story of how Wit came to be Wit and how he moved to Odyssey. It is going to be phenomenal. We've seen just some little sneak peeks. It's an incredible film that's going to touch millions of lives. And it's going to be in theaters, and then there's going to be a streaming series on the main providers, and we're thrilled about that. It's a pretty big investment, as you might guess.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we see this as a really great opportunity to spread the word and reach new families for the cause of Christ.
We're looking forward to that. I had the honor of talking with Katie Lee, I guess about 6, 7, 8 months ago, and we did the same format here. We were, on StreamYard, and I think she was up north somewhere on her mother's front porch, and she's talking with me, and she's giggling, and we're laughing just like you and I have been doing. And I'm thinking in my mind, because she has so many chops. I mean, her chops are she does so many things.
He's so
And in my
good.
mind, while I'm trying to be professional, I'm kind of having a fan moment here. I'm talking and listening, and she's laughing at me. Katie Lee, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And of course,
Hi, I'm Chris.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, she is so wonderfully, she's so pure as a person.
yes.
She radiates the joy of Christ.
Well, we're looking forward to that, and
Yeah.
looking forward to talking to you again. And we hope that you, Dina, and all the kids have a great Christmas. And we're looking forward to 2026 with you. We love you, John. We really do.
Hmm.
And you mean a lot to us. And we appreciate you so much. Hey, guys, John just talked about so many great things about Focus and the year in match. We're coming to a close, and the time to do something about it is now. And I know you do because you're so generous. Focusonthefamily.com is a great place. It's the place to go to give. And whatever you give, it'll be matched. And that is just a huge blessing. And thank you so much for watching and listening to Focus on the Family and listening here at Faith Talk Atlanta. Next week, another amazing guest on Faith Talk today. Until then, I'm Rick Probst. I'll see you.